baby. You're irresistible.
Hi everyone, we're Sam and Nick from Pixiwoo. We are backstage at the Avon brochure shoot. We're going to be creating some looks for you today to follow along with. The one I'm going to do is Rock Chick. This is the imperfect, perfect look of smoky eyes and a soft lip. We're going to break the video into step by step. I will tell you when to pause the video and you can follow along. So I'm using Ideal Flawless Foundation. This one is a light to medium coverage. It has a dewy finish, and the reason for that is that any eyeshadow that drops we can wipe away quite easily with our foundation brush. So I'm going to start the centre of the face and we're working outwards towards the jaw. The reason that we work outwards is so that we can make sure we blend this foundation into the neck so we don't end up with any nasty tide lines. So I've just brushed a little tiny bit of colour through the brows as well, just to shape them, and put a little bit of concealer under the eyes. And that brings us to the end of step one. We're going to pause now so that you can get up to speed, and when we come back we're going to do step two, which is eyeshadow. I'm going to use the True Colour Purple Haze palette. Now there are 4 colours in here, as you can see. You don't have to use all 4. I'm going to use 2, which is the 2 darkest ones. We want this to be a really exaggerated, really full-on rock chick eye. So I'm going to start with the grey and push that onto the lid. We want maximum density of colour here, so we're pushing it on rather than dragging the colour on. Now the great thing about this look is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You can make it a little bit messy, a little bit grungy. If you blob your mascara, it's not a big deal. It all adds to this rock chick look. And I'm blending it very, very slightly. Don't want to over blend it. We want to keep it looking a tiny bit smudgy and messy. We don't want to take away that kind of rawness, but we'll just take the edges out a tiny bit. I've now moved on to the darker purple colour, and I'm going to work this underneath the eye. We're going quite low with this. We want it to be very smudgy. It's a little bit like you've been out all night, but much more glamorous and polished than that. And blending that underneath as well. I'm going to apply a little bit of the purple in the outside corner of the top lid and blend that outwards. Now at this stage, if you're looking in the mirror and thinking this looks really awful, don't worry. It always comes together when you put your mascara and your eyeliner on. These dark eyeshadows can look a bit like you've been punched in the eye up until this point. I'm going to use this great gel eyeliner just on the waterlines. I'm using a little bit of the lightest purple just to go right underneath that. So it gives that smokiness something to fade into. And that brings me to the end of step 2. We're going to pause here so you can get up to speed, and when you come back we're going to do mascara. I'm going to use Spectralash Mascara. This is arguably my favourite Avon mascara. What I love about this mascara is you get the choice with the dial, so you can go from 1 to 3. Often I put 3 on, it's the most maximising lash that we can get, and 1 on the bottom, so I get a slightly more natural look on the bottom. So I'm going to start with 3 on the top. You look down for me. The way this mascara works is that if you use number 1, it will just put less product on the mascara wand. Obviously if you go for number 3, which I often do, you get a lot more product. So if you like a fuller, more volumized lash, then 2 or 3 could be the answer for you. Now I'm just going to turn the dial down to 1 and I'm going to do the bottom lashes. Just look up for me. And that brings me to the end of step 3. If you want to go away, do mascara and come back, then I'll show you how to do a cheek for this look. I'm just going to set our foundation using Ideal Flawless Pressed Powder. This one is in the colour Fair. I'm going to apply this just through the centre of the face and under the eyes, around the nose, on the chin and on the forehead. I'm not going to do the entire face because sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a dewy texture on the high points of the face, on the cheekbones. Across the cheeks I'm going to use the True Colour palette in Earthen Rose. Again, this is quite a neutral tone because we don't want to use anything too strong that's going to fight with those lovely strong eyes. As always, I just like to run my foundation brush just over everything just to really work that into the skin. So that was step 4, cheeks. If you want to go away and do that, when you come back, I will finish this with the lip. On the lips, I'm going to use Shine Attract lipstick in Copper Connection. This is a great pigment and gloss duo that gives a nice natural finish, which is again perfect for this because the definition is all on the eyes. And so that's our finished look. Ellen's now off to get dressed and we'll show you the finished look in a moment.